Happy Easter, everybody. The only thing I have to say in regards to Easter is something I've been thinking for a long time, even before I changed from trying to do the traditional way. From the time of studying the Bible as a little boy, I always got the message that Jesus was saying, "Be like this," and everyone was misinterpreting it or copping out. I'll say that's what I think was a cop out. Well, being like that's too hard. We'll just interpret it as to worship Him. We can't be like that. That's too hard. I've always thought that was the message. I still do think the message is, don't worship me, be like me. That's all I have to say. Happy Easter, everyone. Last night when I went to bed, I thought I had pulled a CD to listen to go to sleep by. I didn't look very closely. I thought I had pulled an Ultramarine CD. But instead, I ended up pulling this CD, and I'm bringing it up because it woke me up. What we have here is a CD of Soundwork by Annette Van de Gorn and Werner Lambercy on the Sonar label out of Canada. This work is related to the type of work that I do, but I'll turn it up a little bit in the background. I do see a difference in my approach to what I'm doing, and I will talk about my work for a minute before I go into what I want to share about my thoughts on the new Bowie again, further on the new Bowie. A lot of these sound pieces are very long, and they are journeys, and so it's a real test of patience for many people, but also it really separates the camps, because it takes a lot from the listener to go into this and to really explore these pieces. They're long, you know what I'm saying? My whole idea is very conscious to keep the pieces short, to compose them not like songs, but that they're short compositions with the idea that if anything happened within that space of time, that imprints on you, that you'll want to go back to it like a song and play it again. It's working for me because I'm finding myself going to my new album as well as Sonospheres and playing certain tracks that are getting caught in my memory. But there's a similarity to this kind of work. Now, it woke me up because one piece on here is harsh and kind of jarring, and it woke me up, and I said, this ain't what I thought it actually kind of startled me for just a second. I'm glad I'm not the scary kind of person, because as soon as I started to become aware of, what is this? This is unusual. It wasn't, I used that. This is what I'll say, and I do know this from experience, 30 plus years of working with people, that fear is something that we as humans generally tend to just go into quite consciously. We go into fear. We embrace it. Most people will say, no, I don't. Yeah, we choose our emotions, folks. We really do. It's been proven time and time again. And so I was aware that, okay, even though it was a millisecond, I was aware I get to choose my response. Am I afraid? No, it's like, what is this? And so I wanted to point that out, that this was some really good sound work. Long form, like a lot of this stuff is. Like, these pieces are 14 minutes, 20 minutes, and one piece here is 34 minutes long. How many of you would actually sit through the whole 34 minutes? I know that I have with many pieces like this. In the world that we live in now, we have the time to do it, but do we have the mindset to do it? Which is also why I'm approaching my sound work the way I am. But that's what I have playing in the background. I want to answer some comments, and I want to I want to make an answer to that may not be seen by those that are looking for an answer. I'm now at the point that there's a whole lot of people who are discovering me who have no idea who I am, and they're asking me questions that can be answered if you take the time to explore my videos. So in other words, there are certain questions that when I see them, I'm not going to answer them because they're already answered. If you're actually that interested in me, watch my videos, okay? Also, there are enough of my videos recently where I'm putting the links to my websites that you can find out all you want to about my music. I will try harder to always link to my websites underneath each video. Okay, I'm just getting some questions where I'm starting to wonder now, is this someone just yanking my chain? And it's like, you know, because it seems like a dumb question. And it may not be. It may just be this person just arrived on the planet regarding what I do. But I'm going to tell you, if that happens to be the case, folks, please understand what I'm saying is not arrogance. You can find out about me very easily by just browsing my videos. So, some people are unhappy with David Bowie's album cover. And someone asked me my opinion, and I'm going to give it. This is fucking brilliant. You want my opinion, okay? Now I'm going to explain, okay? And there is a bit of old guy talking like an old guy that's about to happen here. Because it's valid. Please, take it in. We got to talk about human, the human mind and about being human for a minute. As we develop as humans, our thinking and our personality is fairly intact our entire lives, but our thinking and perspective changes. The way that one thinks at 17 is different than the way you think at 20. The way you think at 20 is different than 30, 40, 50, 60, and on. You folks that have gone through these milestones, if you stop and think about it, if you haven't already, do so now. And you'll find that unless you are very stunted in development, you'll find that your thinking and perspective on life changes, especially as you move from the 20s to 30s to 40s, 50s. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm 57, and there's a lot about me that's the same as when I was a kid, but my perspective on life has broadened. It has to from life experience. How does that relate to Bowie? This is how I see it relating to Bowie and the brilliance from my perspective on this cover. David Bowie is more than a survivor. He is a fucking icon to me. He started in the 60s and he's still here today, not as a review oldies act just raking in the cash in Las Vegas or Branson like so many people of my and his generation. David Bowie is still alive, breathing in the moment, and an active artist. I've watched enough Bowie interviews, read enough about him to understand that when you're young and you want success and fame, you don't really know what it is exactly you're saying you want. Because a big part of fame, and David Bowie has said this many times, I want the success, but in hindsight, you can have the if I could be totally anonymous, that's what I'd have chosen, because it's the work that is important to him. And me also. Now, on the other side, I've always wanted to experience acclaim and being recognized, and I'm experiencing it. I have, and I'm still experiencing it, and it is exactly what David Bowie said. It's a poisonous pit where, on the one hand, you reap a certain amount of benefit and feeling of accomplishment, but then comes all the weird stuff, you know, especially the part where the public thinks they own you and know you, which comes to this cover where I think some people, and I think age may have something to do with it as well as proximity to David Bowie's work. I think it can be, I think it's easy for people to not understand what possibly David Bowie is saying here or not saying with this cover. This is what I get from this. Bowie is alive now. He is not the type of artist that wants to be put up on a shelf and you always refer to him as the low Bowie, the hero's Bowie, or Ziggy Stardust. So, like some of the cult worship of Dylan, where people still buy his records. I cannot stand the sound of his current music or his voice, but it's a lot of it seems to be based on this iconic vision of him back in the 60s, bringing it all back home, or Blonde on Blonde. I may be wrong, but I'm just musing, okay? I do think this is part of the cult of personality worship. And I see David Bowie in part saying, by doing this with this cover, I want no part of that. Heroes was then, this is now. I have done so much, I'm speaking as Bowie. Bowie has done so much in so many ways that if he chooses to try and bitch slap the public into realizing that he is still here and now by desecrating one of these holy, you know what I'm saying, then damn it, he's gonna do it because he can, and he's making a strong point. I'm here now, baby. I happen to be in my mid-60s. I'm not the cute airbrushed Bowie that lives on in your mind forever. I'm a living, breathing artist. Catch up to me. That's what I get from that cover. There's a definite amount of chutzpah that I am putting into that. I don't know that this is what's behind it at all, but that's what I get from it. And I'm putting that chutzpah there because if he hasn't earned it yet, who has? Everyone is entitled to their opinion and their perspective on this cover, but I'm telling you, I think I understand. David Bowie's in his mid-60s now. He owes us nothing. I am eternally grateful that he gave us another record. I had no idea that David Bowie's been working on this album, but some of you people that follow me know that last year, early last year, I started on Facebook just saying, Bowie, if you could please give us another record. Somehow, deep in my intuition, I'm realizing that it's coming. That yes, David Bowie's got something for us. He ain't done, and he's not. So that's how I see this record covered. Fucking brilliant. And then the other part of it is like he's got this white patch pasted over the original cover, and then you look at the glimpses of the information. You know, the names, Fripp, Alomar, you know, and it's like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Bowie, this man, the work he's done, the things he's accomplished. It's easy to understand that many people won't get him, but I'm telling you, it's brilliant. And I'm telling you, for those of, I'll say this to the person who thinks it's a cop-out. That's shortchanging David Bowie big time. He's way smarter than that. There ain't no cop-out. This man is an amazing artist. An amazing artist. I don't see cop-out at all. I think it's brilliant. I'll say it again, it's brilliant. The cover is like, again, it just to me shows that Bowie is alive now. Not resting on his laurels. Not doing a chubby checker. No offense to Chubby Checker. I just know that's what Chubby Checker had to do to make a living. To just be an oldies package. Because he's not relevant. Bowie is still relevant. I hope you can feel me. People are still requesting things of me, and my time is less. So here's the blanket answer. Folks asking me to watch your videos and stuff. I guess some of you are probably going to ask more now that I bring it up. I'm just saying, you know, I've got a lot to do. Tomorrow I go to work as the artist in residence. Tomorrow's my first full day in at the office, and so feel me, people, or don't. Okay. here's a teaser for something I will do. I am going to do for some friends. I went to a record release party last night. I didn't make it till the performances because I just didn't feel like it. But I hung out long enough for the Outlaw Con Bandana record release show. This is a local artist who I just met for the first time last night. I know he's been around, but the reason why I haven't met him is because they play that folky stuff that I don't care for. I'm not interested at all. But I met Brendan last night, and we talked a lot. And making a connection to that's him. Where he works. Okay. This is that slice of life type of stuff. Okay. I've listened a little bit. I'm going to do a review video. I told them I'll do that for them. There are personal reasons and personal connections. The personal connection makes a difference, and I get to choose. Okay. I want to make that clear that I'm not a prick just because someone asked me to do something and I decide to say no. I get to choose. See, you asked. Because you asked, don't assume the answer is yes. That's on you. If you ask me and I freely respond and it's not the answer you want, your response is not my responsibility. I have the right to say yes or no. This is the truth always, people. So anyway, this record is a labor of love. I'll say that all right now. I'm gonna do a video review of this after I listen to it good. This album is a labor of love. I talked to Brendan and Harrison Martin. Harrison is a filmmaker, artist, photographer who I work with. Him and his brother Sam and his other brother was there. They are responsible for the graphics, the layout, and the financing of this project. It's a total labor of love. Harrison told me about how they went with a pressing plant that uses soy-based inks, recycled stock. They give a shit. I give a shit, but it's like I can't afford to give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm also at the point now with my age where I realize do what you can, but if you don't, it's all the same. You know what I'm saying? Because the people chomping on the money and fucking things up cannot be stopped. Okay, anyway, what I'm trying to say is this. Knowing more about what this is about has a lot to do with what I'll have to say about the music. It's not the style of music that I am interested in listening to, but the sincerity and the realness of this endeavor already comes through. I can tell you right now that you folks that like stuff like Springsteen and who's the guy that died in the wheelchair? Vic Chestnut. I can't even get all the names together. Even Bright Eyes. Some of the Bright Eyes people are on this album. People from that. Alex McManus, who was in Lamb Chop, who's from Omaha. I know Alex. Alex used to come over here and jam with me in this room when he was a kid. All those kinds of people are on this album. It's got that rural country sound that I'm just really fucking sick of, okay? But I'm going to give this a fair review and tell you about the quality of it, because I can tell this is quality. And I can also tell that some of you VC members will absolutely love that album, Outlaw Con Bandana. So that's coming up. Last thing I want to say is this, because I struggle with this too as a human being when sharing opinions, because when we share opinions and they don't agree, it pricks us. It does. It's natural. We have to work through it. And so this is my mantra that's helping me with that. Being pro-me does not automatically equate to being anti-you. Just like you being pro-you does not automatically equate to you being anti-me. Sometimes it does, and that's the trick that we are always trying to figure out. So I'm saying that because if I said something in this video that you don't agree with and it sparked an emotion, own it. I'm just talking. This is what's in my head, okay? And what's in my head, think about it, shouldn't be an affront or some sort of to you. It shouldn't be there's no reason to take it as an affront or somehow that it's offensive. There is no way that we can all agree about things. And it's part of my journey of growing up and trying to become more mature that I wrestle with that reality that we are what we are, and we have grown up with some ideas that are unreal. The idea that people have to agree to get along, and that somehow there's this universal template of what's right and wrong. It's just bullshit, people. Let's learn how to manage our own thoughts and feelings so that we can manage the thoughts and feelings of others better, more respectfully. I just really hate how it became so cool to become an asshole and a jerk, as opposed to being someone with feelings and depth. And that asshole jerk mentality is what's ruling this planet. The assholes and the jerks got everybody fooled thinking that they're cool, and they're just running around causing nothing but destruction and hurt. It's a fucking shame, isn't it? And all I did was want to tell you about my thoughts on the Bowie.